5 minutes of this recording. So those of you who weren't there live, tough, you've missed it, okay? So that's the recordings on. Thank you, I've just reminded myself on that one. So how does rapport help build relationships? Rapport is the ability to enter someone else's world to make them feel strong, that you understand them and have a strong common bond. It's the ability to go fully from your map or your perception of the world into their perception of the world. So rather than coming at someone from your perception, when you're able to come from someone else's perception, they just understand that you get them. Now, I've been doing training all over the world for years, and I first went to live in Abu Dhabi in 1982 to run a bar. When Abu Dhabi was, nobody had heard of Abu Dhabi, okay? No one had really heard of Dubai at that point in time. And then I went back in 2013, and I was doing a lot of corporate trainings, and I was actually doing a lot of graduate trainings with local Emiratis. So the first thing, I'm standing in front of them, an older Scottish woman, maybe they're thinking more professory and quiet. And so the first thing I said to them was, I was running a bar in Abu Dhabi in 1982, and you would see people just collapse in the audience. The mouth would drop open. And I would say, I was here probably before your parents were even here, because they were all young graduates with young parents. So straight away, by that one sentence, I built a connection. My other one that I used to use, because we used to do a lot of training with people from India and Pakistan in the Middle East, and I lived in Mumbai for 2 years. And I went to Wankhede Stadium at the time that Sachin Tendulkar was going for his 100th, and he was bowled out on 94. I just tell that story to a room full of people from India and Pakistan, and I've done 3 things. I've connected with them on cricket. I've connected with them that I've been in their part of the world, and I've also connected with them that I understand that their god of cricket is Sachin Tendulkar. So straight and again, you would see people just collapse, all the barriers just collapse. So the first thing about rapport, what's the first thing you could do in an introduction that can help you be like the person you're with? Sometimes, this is the secret of a lot of presentations, sometimes you don't know, but just by meeting someone, especially that we were in the Middle East, the first thing you would say to people is, where are you from? Because the majority of people were not born there. So you just, I know that's not acceptable in some places to ask this, but you'd actually ask, so what country are you from? Because there was so many people from different countries. If you're in a situation and it's parents and you're a parent, you can talk about parents. You can talk about being here at this. If there's 2 people at an event, what brought you to this event today? What's your reason for being at the event? So that's all looking at commonality. It's the essence of successful communication. Now, this is from Tony Robbins, 1987. When someone feels you understand them, this is the foundation of building a relationship. So how you make people, I want you to think about, again, Maya Angelou, people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So I want you to think about people that have been influential in your life. You might not remember exactly what they told you or what they said to you, but my goodness, how did they make you feel? So how are you making someone feel? If you can make someone feel validated, if you can help someone feel accepted, appreciated, understood, listened to, encouraged, that's ways that you're actually connecting with someone on the unconscious level. They just know that you're a person worth connecting with. So this is one of the questions today. How do you make the people you work with feel? How do you make the people you communicate with feel? How do they feel about you? Do you scare them? Or do they really love to get in touch with you? So the reason that rapport building is so effective is that the unconscious will notice what is different and likes what is similar. We are hardwired to notice differences. If I was to write out 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 3, 4 + 4 = 8, all of a sudden, 2 + 2 doesn't equal 3. Because we had to notice differences for survival instinct. So as soon as people notice differences, defenses go up. But if we notice likeness, all of a sudden you're part of our tribe. You're part of our community. You're part of our family. You're part of who, so people today, you've got different ways. Either you've got an interest in NLP, you've trained in NLP, or you're a business professional looking to find out more about using NLP specifically for business and coaching. We're not working on any of the therapeutic elements here. So by removing the differences between the individual and the speaker, by matching and mirroring movements, you will build more similarities, which creates an environment of likeness. That's really what we're looking at. We naturally feel a kinship with people who have a similar background to us. And that is why in life in general, people will find individuals with the same cultural backgrounds to form a community. Who's lived in a multicultural society, going to places like an expat place like Dubai is the perfect example. You've got the Scottish society, the Irish society, the Caribbean society, you've got all your societies. Everyone keeps really to their own groups. We tend to gravitate to the people that we feel really comfortable with. So it's also the capability to see each other's point of view, be on the same wavelength, and to appreciate others' feelings. Now, if you try and pretend to build rapport with someone, I'm going to use it, they're BS, they're bullshit, we'll just say it, radar goes up. People on an unconscious level, we know when someone's trying to get us to like them. But when you have a genuine interest and a genuine connection, something happens with the brain. Our neurons, the mirror neurons, start firing off. So we start firing off similar neurons in each other's brains. So we actually have a neurological connection with the people that we're working with, and people we're really connected with. And then there's a non-verbal communication to establish emphasis on the spoken word and to maintain interpersonal relationships. This is done with facial gestures, or you're really enjoying learning more about NLP for business, aren't you? See how look, how many people are wanting to nod their heads. Some of you are trying not to nod your head, but still doing it. Body language and voice tone. Non-verbal communication is reported to account for 70 to 80% of communication. Now, a lot of people in business know the Merhabian model has been quoted in stating spoken word is a mere 7%, while tone is 38% and body language 55%, meaning that the non-verbal part is 93% is non-verbal in that situation. That is an old study that was done with midwives. I don't know if anyone knows that study was done with 35 midwives, and it's actually come into communication. But we now know it can be up to 70, 80, but we're now seeing up to 90% of communication is non-verbal. I can work with people who are doing something in a different language, and I can follow what's going on with their voice tone and body language. Maybe I don't know exactly what's going on, but I've got a good chance I can follow, because we can naturally do this. So it's understanding a lot of what you're doing and what you're doing here. An example of not building rapport is it's really easy to use NLP techniques in business. What am I saying there with my body? No, it's not. It is really difficult to learn NLP techniques. See how because your body gestures tend to speak much more unconsciously than what you're saying physically, okay? The quickest way to build rapport is to watch a person's body language and elegantly match, mirror, and then lead. Matching and mirroring is replicating or reflecting aspects of the individual's behavior back to them. So there's 4 elements of rapport. There's similarity. This can be culture, age, gender, parent, career, etc. Authenticity, genuine interests, a real compliment, and showing vulnerability. So just by being genuine, just by being interested in someone else. So tell me about yourself. What are you looking to get from today? Because you're going to go into breakout rooms in a minute. And you're going to build rapport with each other just by being interested in them, or telling us about struggling about something. For example, for a leader, I encourage all the leaders that I train to talk about when they started in business, how they struggled, and talk about their struggle and the things they had to overcome, but then tell the story of how they overcame that and how they got to where they are today. Don't leave people saying, oh, I struggle. But opening up yourself to other people builds rapport. That's when we're getting that human to human connection. And then a real compliment. A compliment, but you sounded so confident and that was brilliant. Or shared experience, sports, holiday, family, job, project, etc. Empathy. Just taking the time to understand the world of others. My husband and I have travelled all over the world and working different places. Every single place we have lived in, without exception, the people we've got, and it even happened in Canary Wharf, you'll say, oh, Canary Wharf, the big mad, we were living in Canary Wharf. We will either get from the restaurants, because we go to the restaurants we go to, we'll get a cake. We'll say we're leaving, that's as we're off. We'll get a cake or something. And actually, when we left Canary Wharf, we got a bottle of champagne and a cake from the Italian restaurant that we'd only been going into for 6 months. We'd been there 2 years. And they went, we're so sorry to see you go. How were we doing that? We were doing it because we were talking to the waiters, we were talking to people, we were getting to know everyone. Just general interest, not being nice to them so they'll give us a bottle of champagne. I was shocked. They didn't just palm us off with a bottle of sparkling wine. They actually gave us the champagne that we occasionally bought, the good one. So and that has happened in India, it happened in the Middle East, it's happened every single place we've gone. So when you build rapport with people, remember you. So we've got matching and mirroring. You can match, and matching is actually, Annette, can I just ask you to do this one? Could you put up your left hand? Okay, so there you go, I've got everyone's left. So if I put up my left hand, it's almost as if we're in a mirror. Is that correct? It's like looking in a mirror, okay? But if I put up my right hand, or if I do something, if someone does something with their left hand and I do something with my right hand, that is matching. So mirroring is just as if you're looking in a mirror, and matching is doing it. So it's doing the same thing. So for example, it can be crossing your legs. So someone could be doing that, and someone else can be really talking to them and doing that. Okay, and it's fascinating when we do the online training, you start to see everyone all coming into whatever posture I'm going into, because when someone starts following your postures, you're actually leading. So you start with matching. You first of all match, and you match elegantly. So for example, in fact, I'll just go through this and I'll do a quick demonstration, then put you into the room. Breathing. Breathing's very powerful. It influences tonality, speed of talking, thinking, and emotions. If someone's really anxious, in fact, Leah, could I ask you to do this one with me? I just say something to me, oh, I've got a wee bit of a problem, and I want you to breathe from here. I want you to be short in your breath.
Oh, Fiona, I've got this massive problem.
Okay, I see you've got this massive problem, Leah. So how can we talk about it?
I'm really calm now.
What did I do there? What did I do? I matched for a few seconds. I matched Leah's breathing up here, and then I started to breathe low. Leah and I have worked a lot, so Leah, thank you for doing that, Leah.
You're welcome.
I do this on planes when I'm sitting next to someone who's really panicking and their breathing's all the way up here. I will match their breathing, and then I'll start breathing really deeply beside them, and I'll start to feel them following my breath. The number of times I used to fly backwards and forwards the Middle East, a number of people used to say to me, do you know, I normally don't like flying, but for some reason I'm actually okay in this flight. So again, that's unconscious building rapport. So you can actually match someone's breath and then just pace them for a few seconds and then start to lead them into a much calmer way of doing. Because the rapport it's not conscious, it's unconscious. Speed of talking and everything, tonality, voice tone, tempo, speeds, and also the volume. If you're talking to someone and someone's talking really quickly and you're answering them like that, you're talking a different language. You don't have to speed up to their speed if they talk really quickly. You can just speed your voice up to meet somewhere in the middle, okay? And also voice tone, if someone's got quite a high pitched tone or someone's got quite a low pitched tone. And in fact, that's quite interesting. If you're coaching someone, for example, and someone's really talking, you know, that nice, that authoritative, I can hardly say that word, that tone of authority, you know, that real good tone, when someone's talking from their stomach, it's the real tone of authority. And if you're talking and your voice is stuck in your throat because you're actually feeling a bit nervous, what's happening? How's that other person going to perceive you? So you've got to match people's voice tones. But if someone isn't quite a nervous, because our voice tone goes on into here when we're nervous, if someone's stuck there, then you want to bring your voice tone down a little bit to lead them. And then words, matching visual, auditory, and feeling words. So if someone's talking about, I can really see where you're coming from, I really want to have a look at this, you start using visual words back to them. Or can you hear what, you know, I want to discuss this, so let's have a chat. Or I'm feeling uncomfortable, it's really, I don't quite grasp what you're talking about. You don't say, oh, can you not see it? Because the minute you say, can you not see it, you're talking in a different language. So it's matching the words of the people, and with words that can also be your keywords. So you can repeating keywords, and very often business, we've got business terminology that we can repeat. And then common experiences and associations, talk about common experiences and talk about associations. And then repeating the last part of the sentence. So you can paraphrase or repeat something back to people. But be careful with that, because it's possible to repeat. And you sometimes get people that are taught rapport building techniques, and they do this repeating back, but they've not listened. But it sounds, but that's, people pick that up because it's not genuine. Any questions before? I'm going to put you into the breakout rooms for, let me see, 8 minutes. And in 8 minutes, you're going to build rapport with each other. But before we go in there, any questions? Anyone get any questions? No, everyone's absolutely clear. Has that been helpful? Has that been useful, looking at a different way? Okay, so let's just, there we go. So you're about, it's 3 in each room, and go and have fun for the next 8 minutes. I'll bring you back at, it's 5 to, I'll bring you back just before 5 past. We'll make it up to 10 minutes. Okay, so that's open all the rooms.
Because I think I find it very useful. What I want to do is to be able to do as many sessions as possible, okay. Not just.
Yeah, but
my
remember,
mission was one-on-one.
Nothing moves on that. Your leader system stays there. It's only the extra course that comes up once a month, and the one that's just been put up, the Art of Time Management, stays until the end of August. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for being back. How did you get on with that? Yeah, did you all feel the rapport? Feel the way to be connected? Yeah, okay. So let me tell you just about, let's just share this. So there's 3 things we have here. One is the Professional Growth Company, the Professional Growth Club. The Professional Growth Club, we just launched a couple of months ago, and we're now getting into the swing of things. That is £9 a month. And for the Professional Growth Club, what you get is you get access to 6 the leader system courses. When you work through these courses, you get, there's the videos, there's an audios, and there's a quiz that you have to pass, a knowledge quiz, 75% pass rate, and then you get a certificate of completion for each one. Every month, we put up an extra course that stays normally for 30 days, but the one that was supposed to go up in July was a little bit late. It's now been uploaded. This month's course is The Art of Managing Your Time Effectively. We're keeping that course on until the end of August. And then every month, there'll be another course that comes up and stays live for 30 days. That's to keep you with your momentum. Your leader system courses stay there all the time. You get fabulous workbooks that you can download with these. And these courses are really for business professionals, people who are looking to work. It's me sharing my corporate trainings. That's really what it is. And some future trainings are going to be coaching skills for managers, negotiation skills, giving effective feedback, things like that. If you're NLP trained, and would like to join the NLP Business Circle, we've got a 50% discount on that. That's $45 a month instead of $90 a month. With the Business Circle, you get 2 2-hour masterclasses a month, similar to this, but we go into a lot more detail and you get a lot more time in the breakout rooms to practice. And then you get the workbook for that. But the beauty of the NLP Business Circle is you get access to every single Business Circle masterclass since December 2020. And this is all for bringing people's skills in NLP up. Now, you can access and download every one of these workbooks, and I am more than happy. I've spent years putting these workbooks into place. I've spent years putting the flow of that together. So I'm happy for the members to download the workbooks and use that material in that order to put together your own workshops. So the members, we've got many members in there that have been with us right from the beginning, but that is people, you have to have attended an NLP training before you can come on to it. Well, you don't have to, but you'll be lost if you don't. But it could be a small workshop or just an introduction. And then the last one is, I would like to offer, whoever would like to take it up, a 45-minute complimentary strategy session. That is to discover how I can help you further develop your career. Now, it may be through one-to-one NLP coaching program, or it may be through the NLP. We now have a dual certification, NLP Business Practitioner, Business Coach. Or it may be one of the things, I know I've been talking about it, I know Charles and Sophia about this from last year, but things just got in the way. One of the things I'm also looking at doing is putting together, it's a program for NLP trainers, so that they can take all my material, all my business material, and the slides for my business practitioner and business coach. So they can actually use that. You get it to brand to yourself. But I take you through the training and I teach you how to deliver the training in the way that I'm doing so with it. So whatever you want to talk about, come on, or even if you want to just use that time for me to help you a little bit to get forward. So this is just a thank you for coming onto these workshops, these that we do every Wednesday. Next Wednesday, how your values drive success. So we're working into how values drive. So can you see, I like when I get smiles every time I announce it, but can you see what I'm doing here is I'm taking, because I've been working with NLP skills for business for over 30 years, but I've been working with it in corporate environments for over 30 years. So I'm taking everything that I've been learning about NLP and translating it into what we do with corporates to introduce people into different ways that you can learn to use NLP skills to improve your communicating, motivating, coaching, leading, and influencing skills. So let's just thank you very much. That's all the marketing I'm going to do. Let's get some feedback. What have you got from today? What are you taking away from today? And after, I know some of you have to leave at 15:15, but I'll be on for another 10 minutes if anyone's got any questions or anything. So what have you taken? Who wants to come on to microphone and just share something of what they've got today? Okay, Priya, yeah.
Yeah, I had a great breakout room, and I think what seemed to work for the three of us was shared experience, vulnerability, empathy. Yeah,
Yes.
just making sure those notes were hit made a big difference for the three of us. So yeah.
Vulnerability and being genuine. But the minute someone opens up to you, you cannot help but connecting with them on a human level. Fantastic. Okay, who else? Tom, yes, nice to see you, Tom.
Yeah, I haven't been around for a while.
That's
yeah,
all right.
Socially, I like to just agree with, just to build rapport in an upbeat, positive way. But there was this kind of block where I should be more businessy in a business conversation. And I've just realized from this and something I was doing this morning that's nonsense.
Yeah,
but it's this idea. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's putting, like, for example, my scenario that I talk about when I was working with the graduates in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. young Emiratis and talk about running a bar. They know what goes on in the country, and lots of that we're talking about now compared to then, that was very separate. But that was getting a little glimpse into my background that had nothing to do with training, and they felt it was quite naughty. People quite like to hear a little about your background and some of the things you've done, and some of the hobbies that you've got as well. Sharing hobbies and sharing things, your interest in a business environment can be huge, because people get behind what they're seeing, the persona. Okay, thanks, Tom. Who else before we stop? Yes, Natalia. Yeah, Leah, come to you in a minute.
We'll go, yeah.
You two are so matched.
Experience.
May I just share, in the room, Natalia and Leah realised they were ringing Rapport. Look, they both put their hands up at the same time. That's what, and look, they're not even in the same country.
Yes,
Rapport
exactly.
goes in all sorts of weird ways. Yeah. Okay, Natalia, you go first, then we'll come to Leah.
Yeah, we had it's an amazing talk in the breakout session with Lear, and it's like something very unusual. What connected us is bad habit thing with hair. We had so much laugh about this, and I think it is also sometimes this unexpected similarities, not only in the perfect way, they might even connect even stronger.
Yeah. And can you see that connection was done in just a few minutes? And you're connected and you're laughing when you both come back on again. Hi, because you're pals now. Thank you, Natalia. Leah.
I was going to say exactly the same thing.
Okay, and again, that's anything else you'd like to add to that?
No, I think it was unconsciously we were both copying each other's body language, and it just started. It was just a general conversation. That's how it started, and then started building, talking about the weather, recruitment, hospitality, and all the different sectors. And we're very similar.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I think one of the most fun scenarios I ever had with Rapport was I was running an NLP business practitioner in Dubai, and on day 5. 2 girls, so it was a tiny course. There was only 6 people on that course, and there was 2 girls in the course. They both came in dressed identically, unconsciously. 2, they had the same shoes on. They came in with pink shirts, white trousers, neutral coloured sandals, gold, I think the earrings, they almost had the same watches. It was unbelievable. They had built this incredible rapport. And Annette and I have done a lot of training. Annette Palmer and I have done a lot of physical training. And there's also Philippa Hart, who I do a lot of training with. And very often we'll walk in almost dressed identical. We haven't discussed it. And we said, make a laugh. Oh, you got the pink memo today. You got the cream memo today. You got the dress code memo. So the lovely thing about this is watch where it's happening in all areas of your life. Okay, so thank you very much. I hope you're finding this useful. We're going to be doing this this summer. We might continue after the summer. Just give yourself a nice big round of applause. Thank you very much. A wee wave, and we'll take a wee screenshot for that to send out. And we'll see you next week. And it's how your values drive success. Okay, and I'll just stay on. I'll take the recording off, and I'll stay on if anyone's got any questions. And do take advantage if you'd like to do the 45-minute complimentary session with you. It'd be lovely to see you. Okay, so let's just stop the recording.